To be honest, I'm Giannis inside of game 6. Dropping 50 and dunking over your main. Earnhardt Jr. when I'm deciding the lane switch. Tell them people that I'm on top of the game. Manifested my future by spewing all of my pain. Carry my own umbrella, surviving treacherous rain. Landed on higher learner, matriculating the bigger earners. So after dark helps you to find your purpose. And find what work is, and find the surface. When deeper in it, I'm heavy with ashes, burning curses. Built up our name so forever we reign, it's us we working. Ain't tripping off your affiliation, we welcome verses. In lieu of playing, we saying our way to sign a merchant. Then press receipts in the meet and greets with our favorite person. Link with DG, he the chief for KC, we do it right. So after dark from the mic to your heart to Hollywood night.
What's up, everybody? Sports After Dark, After Hours. Boy, we back. I ain't on mute, am I? Y'all can hear me? Great. Perfect. What is going on? We appreciate y'all for being here again. Welcome to Sports After Dark, After Hours. It's 6:04 Eastern Time. We ain't pulled Lou out of the bed to 6 a.m. this morning. You know what I'm saying? We figured we could roll on Monday night. Ain't no Monday night games. But boy, is there a lot to talk about. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure, first and foremost, that you like, subscribe, share this YouTube channel. If you could, please, we'll really appreciate it. We want you guys to be kept up with the content we drop and the shows that we put up, because it's a lot of heat coming y'all's way in 2024. I'm just warning you now. So make sure that you are, got your notifications on. You get the bell, you get the ding whenever we go live and whenever we drop content, because you're not going to want to miss it. Secondly, make sure that you are following the Instagram page, Sports After Dark, all lowercase, and then the number 4. Make sure that you're tapped into our Twitter page. Make sure that you are tapped into our community on Twitter. Make sure that you go and cop some great Sports After Dark merch that we have masterfully put together for you. Shout out to our guy C. Lou, who's the head. Listen, I'm making you head of operations, just right here, right now. Shout out to, I wish I had the clapping emoji. I'm gonna go ahead and this is the guy, you know what I mean, that be looking out, producing our merch for us. There are hoodies on there, there are shirts, coffee mugs. Make sure that you go and grab those items. My guys, Lou, we back, baby.
We back. Hey, I don't know if you did it already, but let's just shout out Wes real quick, because that intro, man.
Did y'all hear that intro?
That's crazy. Intro is fire.
Wes and Roscoe. Wes for the music, Roscoe for the video.
Yeah.
You gotta shout them out, man, because that joint is fire.
They was like Shaq and Kobe on that joint together. They was like Shaq and Kobe on that.
Yes. Thank y'all. Appreciate my guys, because 3 heads are better than 1. And I definitely, I was supposed to say that, but I would have definitely gotten sidetracked. So yeah, again, shout out to Roscoe, shout out to Wes, and shout out to our new producer, Mr. Tristan Morris. Man, we brought Tristan on. We want to make sure that we have a really, really interactive show, some dope topics. Oh my God, I just bit my tongue. Y'all see that? Wow.
Oh man.
My God, I'm struggling today. Listen, some dope topics coming y'all way again. You're just a whole new facelift. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all see the new background. We got the new intro. You know, it's 2024. It's time to step up our game, and we intend to give y'all content to match. Lou, we just finished the divisional round of the NFL. How y'all feeling after this weekend's action? Really, I gotta top in with my guys. What y'all feelings? They say that we don't listen to black men's feelings. Black men feel. I'm listening to y'all feelings. How do y'all feel?
They ain't talking about with football. They ain't talking about with sports.
They for sure ain't talking about football.
Now y'all being ungrateful. All right, now y'all being ungrateful. Now this being ungrateful. I'm trying to have y'all tapped in. So tell me how y'all feel about these games. How you could describe these games using one word. What would it be?
Great.
Okay.
This weekend was a lot better than
the
first weekend.
It was. My blood pressure was high.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Watching that game.
You're the only team that's still standing here.
That's a fact.
Yeah, so
You
I had a lot of anxiety in the second half of that game.
I can
But we pulled it
imagine.
out though. We get to play another week.
Yeah, I can imagine. For me, the games were intriguing. Like I just thought they were super intriguing. I didn't expect certain things to go the way they went. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to have to run another show this week, guys. We got to figure out a day and time because we're going to use that show to actually break down the championship weekend with those games. But we're going to pretty much recap this divisional round because there is a lot to talk about and there's a lot of storylines surrounding it. And if I don't sound like my rowdy self, y'all, I am getting over like a sinus infection, a real bad like stomach bug. So I'm here, but you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be like rah. Those that are in Sports After Dark on Twitter Spaces, y'all know what I've been dealing with. So appreciate y'all, appreciate the support, appreciate the well wishes. Fellas, my goodness, where do we start from this past weekend? We're not starting with the 49ers. We're not gonna start there. We're gonna let you breathe a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Since you
I
was
appreciate that. I
cardiac
appreciate
arrest.
that.
Yeah, we'll let you breathe a little bit more. But listen, we're gonna start over in the AFC, man. The Ravens knock off the Texans 34-10. The Ravens defense did not allow a single offensive score by the Texans. And we have known CJ Stroud and those boys to ball out. I got to get up in a second and get my paper with the stats. But real quick, what were CJ stats? Lou, can you give me those real quick?
Yeah, hold on.
I think,
Hold on.
No. I think I can remember. I think he passed for 175 yards. And I think that he was something of 31.
Something to 31.
Something of 31 passes.
Something to 31.
All
Something to
right, so
31.
he was 19 of 33, 175 yards.
No touchdowns, no INTs.
Nope.
Kind of made CJ Stroud look like that rookie that he is. Honestly, that defense really, I mean, in the first half, you know, we didn't know. It was tied 10-10 going into the half. You know what I'm saying? We thought that it was going to kind of end up being one of those games, but in the end, which I've noticed, there was a pattern throughout most of these games this weekend. Maybe not your game, but the better team began to separate itself down the stretch. So no more than Lamar Jackson, man, who is the first quarterback ever to throw for two touchdowns, run for 2 touchdowns, throw for over 100 yards, and have a 100-yard quarterback rating. And so shout out to Lamar, first appearance in the AFC Championship, long overdue. And we got a hell of a game on our hands coming up next weekend, fellas. Talk to me, y'all. Let me ask y'all a question. Is Lamar Jackson the best dual quarterback ever? Now, our great producer, Tristan, came up with this question. And he also dropped some familiar names that we're going to like make sure that we compare him to. So what was it? Who did he drop? Was it Michael
Vick?
Randall Cunningham.
I
think
Cam Newton.
Steve Young.
Cam Newton.
Steve Young. Frank Tarkenton.
Yes.
Yeah.
So either one of y'all can go first. Yeah, talk to me. Is he the best dual?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Threat quarterback ever? I'm gonna go get the sheet, y'all.
I agree. I would say he's the best dual quarterback ever. I mean, you just look at how electric he is with the ball in his hands. We've seen honestly the closest person we've seen that was like Lamar Jackson is Michael Vick. From the rip, I'm like, dang, he Vick 2.0. Like how elite he is. Yeah, like he Vick on steroids. Like, you know what I mean? How electric he is with the ball in his hand, with his legs. But now he's developed even more as a passer to make him even more dangerous. Where it's like, dang, we can't just keep Lamar in the pocket because Lamar can make throws from the pocket now. So now it's like, now when we do pressure him, you got to worry about him still standing there and still making those throws. And then keep in mind that you got to keep a spot there because if you don't, he can still take off for 60 yards. You know what I'm saying? So I just think I think after. Well, I'm not gonna say we'll never see another Lamar Jackson because we probably said that with Michael Vick, and here's Lamar Jackson. So, but I
Facts.
can say at this moment, yeah, he's definitely the best dual quarterback we've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah, and to answer T's question, I mean, I think EPA is a good metric, but just like any other like analytic, I think you need to use those things in unison with other statistics and stuff. Like you can't just take one and take it as gospel. Um, but I mean, I do think it's a good metric. I think EPA is pretty good, especially when you're trying to measure how impactful a player is to the team, and everything. Like especially like when you're looking at running backs and stuff like that, and like with quarterback playing and everything like that too. Because I think even this season, Josh Allen had a very high EPA for quarterbacks. Even though he was turning over the ball at a high rate, he was also scoring at a high rate as well. But to your question, AB, yeah, I mean, I think Lamar is the best dual threat quarterback we've seen. I mean, and I get Mike Vick. He probably opened the door for like the Lamar types. Um, but we've also seen different molds of dual threat quarterback because Lamar ain't the same mold as Cam Newton. He's not the same mold as a Josh Allen because Josh Allen's a dual threat quarterback too,
For
and he's
sure he
great.
is.
He's great in his own right as well. But like, and I mean, I think Tristan threw out some of those names, you know, like Steve Young and Fran Tarkenton. I'm messing up his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. He threw out those
Y'all know what
names,
he mean,
but
y'all.
but to me, those are more mobile quarterbacks than they are dual threat. Like they can they're not like
Tarkenton.
yeah, Tarkenton. They're
Tarkenton.
not like a Lamar or like a Michael Vick or a Cam Newton that when they get out that pocket, it's over with for you. Like it's done with. But they could move and they had some mobility. So those are different for me. When I look at the dual threat, I'm looking at like Cam, Randall Cunningham, Josh Allen, looking at Michael Vick, you know, Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson is the next one up, who could be that mold of Lamar Jackson and Cam Newton. And he can actually be the mold of both of them. But nah, I think Lamar is the best right now. As even when you look at the stats, like his rushing output and his numbers, he might get past Cam when it comes to those rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen is already up there too. Josh Allen has like 53 rushing touchdowns. So, you know, I think Lamar is the best that we have, that we've seen. Like his wiggle, everything, man. Like
For
Lamar is
sure.
that. Yeah,
And that's what I was about to say, clean sweep, because I'm going Lamar too. You know, I feel like there's just something different about Lamar's elusiveness. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
he and not only that, just to tap into another, the ability to not be hurt from being hit. Like we've seen him deal with injuries, but those didn't come off of him getting knocked to his
They didn't
feet
even come off of
in the
him
play.
running.
For sure. They didn't come off of, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to, because this is stuff that, you know, Ravens flock has educated me on, is that, you know, he knows how to escape pressure and he knows how to get out of bounds or go down. He doesn't have to deal with those big hits. So much that narrative of, well, he's such a mobile quarterback, he's not going to last long because of the injuries. Well, see, Lamar Jackson is just a different breed of that. He's not going to have to deal with that because he's not taking so much contact from hits to begin with. So I think
Exactly.
that puts him, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how much these other quarterbacks were hurt due to their dual threatness and they possibly didn't know how to escape, you know, hits and stuff like that, like Lamar does. But you know, his longevity, that was the biggest thing. Like, how long is he gonna be? His longevity, the longevity is looking pretty fine for Lamar Jackson because he's not taking these big hits that's causing injuries. And again, his elusiveness, his pocket awareness, like you said, Shooter, the ability to, like, now he's his throwing, his passing ability has gotten better. So I'm going with Lamar Jackson too, man. I like what we're seeing from Lamar Jackson.
And to the point, what you talking
Yeah.
about him not taking the big hits, like look at Cam. And I mean, I get it. Cam 6'6", 250,
Mhm.
whatever. Like
For
Cam
he
is
sure.
a
bigger than
prime example.
most everybody on the field. But he was flipping into the end
Yeah.
zone, taking, like, trying to run
Yep.
people over, like all types of stuff. And you saw his body start to break down.
That stuff happened.
Lamar ain't
Cam
getting
took
hit
a
like
lot. Cam
that
took
at
a lot of
all.
crazy hits.
Yeah, Lamar
Yeah.
Lamar
I
gets down.
think Lamar. Yeah, I was about to say that. I think Lamar understands he needs to get down. He knows how valuable he is, so he can't take those type of hits. He knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with what I've seen and heard in the terms of there's just he's just so valuable. You use the word valuable, shooter. You know, he's just so valuable to his team, and the team asks so much of him, and he executes relatively well. So give me Lamar Jackson. I'm going there with him as well. So just staying with the Ravens topics real quick because as you all know, they see the Chiefs next weekend in Baltimore. And this is Lamar Jackson's first AFC championship appearance. This is his sixth season. People want to make a big deal about that. Oh, it don't take them 6 seasons. It took them 6 seasons to get there. And I'm like, y'all really think that winning games and getting the championships is easy? I don't know what, somehow, some way, media or the NFL need to reverse whatever narrative has people believing that it's easy to go out here and win a game in the NFL. Like the players will tell you it is hard, that wins are hard to come by in the NFL. They very much respect the any given Sunday. And sometimes myself, I fall into that trap. Like, I don't care. You better go ahead and get the win. It's hard to get wins in this league. It's hard to make the playoffs in this league. It's hard to make championships in this league. And he's only in his 6th year, so shame on me. I'll eat that crow because about 3 years ago, I said that Lamar Jackson had reached his ceiling with the Ravens. And that that was a hell of a ceiling. He had a hell of a, year winning MVP. So it wasn't like a jacked up ceiling, but I did say that he had reached his ceiling. That ceiling was officially broke when he made the AFC championship. So shout out to him. But I want to ask y'all, is it Super Bowl or bust mode right now for the Ravens? Like Super Bowl or bust for the Ravens, like right now? Do they have to get there? Do they have to win? Or is it like, me personally, I don't think it's a bust. I don't think they're in bust mode yet. I think this is, what y'all laughing at? Is it a comment or something up in here?
No, it's
no.
I'm laughing at the question.
Who asked the question?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
This question,
the
question.
Super Bowl or bust question.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think new coordinator, these new pieces for Lamar Jackson in OBJ and Zay Flowers, the running game being, a decent running game. They still dealing with injuries. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that this is Super Bowl or bust for the Ravens. I'm trying to figure out if I feel the same way about John Harbaugh though. Is it Super Bowl or bust for John Harbaugh though? So I don't know. Y'all can jump in here.
So I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust for the Ravens, but I do think like at some point you gotta win one in the Mahomes era. And to your point, I think people say, because you were talking about how like it's hard to get wins in this league, but to be fair, from what the Chiefs have done, Mahomes has never not played in the AFC Championship.
Come on, man.
No, hold on. But what I'm saying is that's where that narrative.
You have your unicorns.
No, I know, but I'm saying that's where that narrative is coming from. Is where you see
it's Brady
Mahomes.
Too. I think it's Brady too. Definitely, I think it started with Brady, Lou. To your point, for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. You see these players come in, and then you see them just take over. Like they just come in and take over the league.
Yeah.
And so like when you look at a Tom Brady for the 2 decades he was in the league, you look at Patrick Mahomes now where he's in, and ever since he's became a starter, that man has been in the AFC Championship game. So like it's every single year you can count on it.
Straight seasons.
And at one point they was calling it what they said, the Kansas City Invitational, like
the Arrowhead
the Arrowhead Invitational.
Yeah, they was calling it the Arrowhead Invitational.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's where those narratives come from. Like you see teams like that, and it's like, oh well, if they doing it, why can't they do it? If they doing it with all this less talent that they have, then how come these other teams with all this talent can't do it? So that's where
fans in the comments, slow down, Buckaroo. Slow down, Buckaroo. Calm down.
But I don't think it's championship or bust for them. I do think they need to get one in the Mahomes era. I mean, even people were able to get some off for Tom Brady in the Tom Brady era. I don't think it, but to your point, John Harbaugh, it might be Super Bowl or bust for him because, I mean, he ain't really done much since that last one they got when they played Heavy's 49ers. Um, they ain't really, they really haven't
And that
done
was
much.
what, 2012?
I think so, or
Yeah, that
it
was
might have been a little
2012.
bit. Yeah, so
2012.
it's been a minute. And a lot of people will tell you Lamar saved John Harbaugh's job. His first year, he saved his job.
Yes, he
So,
did.
so for him, it might be Super Bowl or bust, but for the team, nah, I don't think so. I think Lamar still has a lot of good football left. I think he's getting better as time goes on. And while he's running a little bit less, again, like Heavy said, he's becoming better as a passer. So, for Lamar, I don't think it is. And they're still building that team. They're still working on that team, getting all the right pieces in there because they're gonna have to get some more receivers after this season because Odell gonna be gone.
I'll say this. I agree with what Lou said with Kansas City. Mahomes is the reason why people feel the way they feel. Mahomes has set the standard for this new generation of quarterbacks. They look at what he's done, and they looking like, well, if he can do it his first year in the league, fully starting as the quarterback, then some of these other quarterbacks should be able to do the same. I think I remember saying, I think like a year and a half ago, that Mahomes he has put himself on a level how Brady was. If you want to go through the Super Bowl, you got to beat Mahomes. Mahomes has clearly put himself in a position where if you want to get to that title game, you got to beat me. Whether if it's on the road, whether if it's at home, you got to beat me. Because here we are. Mahomes was first game on the road. He beat Buffalo, and here he is back in the AFC Championship game. And for the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl, they got to beat Patrick Mahomes. So, but I'm going to say yes, this is Super Bowl or bust for the Ravens, in my opinion. I think the Ravens got a lot of players that's going to be free agents at the end of the year. I believe Davion Clowney's a free agent. OBJ will be a free agent. They got some other key pieces that will be free agents at the end of the year. So, and like if we know how at the NFL goes, you'll never have the same team that you had the next year. The team is going to look different
let me
in
ask
some
y'all,
way, shape, or form.
But let me ask you, do you think that I think it's more of a chance of folks staying around if they don't win versus if they do?
That's a possibility.
That's a possibility. I don't know. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of those Super Bowl teams like kind of dismantle a bit once they've won. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you don't see those same squads next year, when you're kind of looking for the possibility of a repeat. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, it could go either way because like you got some players that want to get that bag, you know what I mean, and you got some players that feel like, you know what, I want to come back and see if we can run it back and see if we can get back to a Super Bowl. You just watched the Eagles go through it. Eagles went to the Super Bowl last year, they lost, and majority of them players didn't come back. They lost a lot of key players off that Super Bowl team. So it could go either way. I feel like, but I agree with you too. John Harbaugh, it definitely, he got to win something. He hasn't been back at this game since 2012. So he got to make the best of it. He got to get it done right here. Because if he don't, they're gonna be looking at him like, is it is it you really being a good coach, or is it the talent we putting around you that's making you look how you look?
Because what, 2012?
Those are the questions they're gonna start asking.
Yeah.
It's been over 10 years.
Yeah. And then to the point of you saying like, some of the free agents and everything. I mean, I don't know what like they're gonna do to maneuver some of these contracts or whatever, but I think right now, as it stands, they have about maybe somewhere between 5 to 13 million in cap space going into 2024. So with some of those guys becoming free agents, it's one of those things where it's like, how are you going to pay to get some of them back? Like I think Geno Stone is a free agent, one of the safeties. There's a couple other players that
he's a free agent.
The dude that had all the sacks this year, I believe he's a free agent too. The defensive tackle.
How about a free agent at the end of the year?
So like it's a lot of stuff they got to figure out going into this offseason on trying to get some of those players back, re-signing players and things like that.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if they're completely done. I think the players like playing for like John as well. I keep wanting to call him man Jim. I think the players like playing for John as well. And we've seen time and time again when he has literally let Lamar like just do his thing, and that shows a hell of a amount of trust between the quarterback and his coach, and that just trickles down. You know what I'm saying? When a quarterback feel like the coach feel that way, the quarterback is gonna that's going to illuminate the locker room. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that, win or lose, he probably will stay. I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust, but for the Ravens yet either. Let's go to the other side, the Texans. Hell of a year by CJ Stroud. Lou is disgusting. He's just really excited for real. You know what I'm saying? That the Texans didn't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's really like grinning from ear to ear. Like, what is
Yeah,
this?
man. I said, because I saw a couple, NFC East folks posting that little Twitter crap talking about how the NFC East different. We could go 2-15 and we still hope to whoever win to lose. Bro, y'all ain't the only ones that want that. Listen, the Texans they won the division. Colts ain't even make the playoffs, and guess what? I was happy as hell to see them get smoked by the Ravens. Y'all ain't the only ones, dog. Like, I was happy. Hey, listen, even though it was to the Titans, I was happy as hell to see the Jacksonville Jaguars fumble the division.
For
like,
sure.
What?
No. That's a whole nother conversation with those Jacksonville Jaguars. But
that was disgusting.
As I mentioned, CJ threw for 175 yards. You know what I'm saying? Had what was it? Tell me, 19 to 33. Again, just I feel like as we watched that game, a little bit of the inexperience started to take place, specifically on the side of the penalties. Those penalties killed. And we talked about this in Sports After Dark, how we feel like that there's a lot of different variables to those penalties. It's folks that usually just draw penalties anyway, regardless of where they are. And then there's folks that feel like because of the noise in M&T Bank that caused penalties and false starts. Specifically, the false starts were killing the Texans. And then you got some like me and others that feel like that the inexperience ultimately, you know what I'm saying, kind of led to their demise. And that's kind of why I chose the Ravens from the beginning. And that's kind of why I chose the Browns last week, is because I thought that this inexperience, and I thought that Browns defense was going to step up and kind of show exactly what we saw from the Texans against the Ravens. And it didn't happen. It happened with the Ravens, but I knew that inexperience at some point was gonna kind of rear its head. And again, it's a combination of things. Having said that, though, again, CJ Stroud, hell of a year, rookie. Made it to the playoffs, made it to the divisional round. D'Amico Ryans, head coach, probably will be coach of the year. I think there is somebody else that we should take into consideration that we'll talk about later, though. But the Texans really have it all like lined up. They are set up to be very successful in the future. So having said that, are they the AFC South favorites? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let them wait. I'm coming to you, Shooter. I'm gonna let him wait because he over there foaming at the mouth. He over there. He can't wait. Look at him. He just can't wait to answer. You gonna wait? I'm going to Shooter. Shooter, talk to me. I need an unbiased eye from this first. You know what I'm saying? Conversation here. Are the Texans the AFC South favorites?
I'm gonna say no. I don't think they'll be the favorite. Okay. You got the Jaguars that'll be back next year. They'll make moves. Oh no! That's my dog. That's my man. $100,000. But he know I'm gonna always give an honest answer. I'm gonna say no, because the Jaguars will be back. The Jaguars will make moves. You see, they got the Falcons defensive coordinator, which was a great move for them defensively. They'll be better. The Colts will be better. They're gonna bust some moves. Anthony Richardson will be back. The Titans they got to figure it out. They got a lot going on. But between the Colts, the Jags, and the Texans, it's going to be another like duke it out type of thing that anybody could win that division. I don't think they're the favorite. They'll probably, the odds will come out next year. I'm sure they won't be the favorite to win that division. They'll probably be like second to win it, but I don't think they'll be the favorite because the other two teams around them that finished with winning records. Huh?
Are we putting Tennessee in this conversation at all?
No.
No. They got a lot going on. Derrick Henry about to leave. They need a head coach. They need a quarterback. They got a lot going on.
They got a quarterback. Shout out to Big Will Levis. Calm down. They have a quarterback. Don't disrespect Will Levis like that. They have a quarterback.
All right.
Hell no.
They got a quarterback. Come on, man. Like, put some respect on Big Will's name, man. Big Will Levis.
They will be looking for a quarterback in another 2 years. In another 2 years, they're gonna be looking for another quarterback. Will Levis will not be their franchise quarterback. He's not.
Listen, hold up for a minute. we saw some good things from Will a little bit, some little spurts.
Yeah, there was some good things. I mean,
there were some good things,
and there was a lot of bad
He
things.
did some good things here and there.
I mean, but
A
that stuff
lot
come
of
with
bad
reps.
things.
It's no different from Anthony
No,
Richardson.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying? Like he need
those
reps.
bad things are part of his. Yes, there's some things that come with reps. The bad things we saw from Will Levis aren't rep based. Like throwing into coverage because you trust your arm strength too much. Like that's not rep based. Rep
Mm-hmm.
rep based. That is because he is arrogant with his arm, which is cool. Like you want a quarterback that's not afraid to throw into coverage, make some tight window throws and everything. But he threw into like triple coverage and double coverage a lot. And then a lot of those passes, people listen, some of those passes should have been intercepted and DBs just dropped the ball. Like it's that simple. I mean, I think he'll be all right. I mean, I don't think he'll be a bad quarterback in the NFL. I think he'll be straight. But um he's not Jay Cutler 2.0
Stop.
because
BLT said that Will Levis is Jay Cutler 2.0.
yeah,
Stop.
Jay Cutler didn't give a damn
bro.
about football. Will Levis actually likes football. That's the big difference. If you're talking about talent wise, then yeah, because the talent is there. The arm talent is there. Jay Cutler had one of the best arms we'd have seen in the NFL, but he just didn't give a damn about football.
Facts. He didn't care about football.
He
And
did
with
have, he
Will
did have a
Levis,
little
it just
advantage.
and they're gonna move on from Will Levis. He not gonna be their quarterback in 2 years. They're gonna be looking for another quarterback. The Titans, they got a lot to figure out. So that's why
They
I
got
feel
a
like
lot going on.
they got a whole lot going on.
Y'all
It's
gonna
between
learn.
the Texans, the Jags, and the Colts.
Y'all gonna learn. The only quarterback I've been wrong about was my boy.
Who? Bro, the
Stetson
jury's still
Bennett?
out on Baker.
No, not Baker.
Stetson Bennett.
Who?
Stetson Bennett.
My boy Stetson. Yes. Oh, Stetson. I got something in my eye, y'all. That's why y'all see me messing with my eye. Oh, big Stetson. Good. Yeah, man.
But I mean, the Titans just have a lot to work out, though. Like their offensive line was bad last year. Their secondary was terrible last year. They still need more. They need receivers. They have the running back position.
They're gonna need a running back.
Spears. Well, they got Tajay Spears. He'll be fine. Like he's not Derrick Henry, but they got that figured out with him. It's just everything else around there they got to figure out, and it's a lot to do in one off season.
Go ahead.
You think they can feature Tajay Sharp as a running back?
Yeah, I think they can feature Tajay as a running back. I think he's solid for sure.
Talk to me, Lou. Are the Texans the AFC South favorites?
No, I don't think they're the AFC South favorites, and a lot of reasons that Heavy said. The Jaguars made a good hire today. Now it's still left to be seen because are they going to bring back Josh Allen, which is one of their best edge rushers they've had since. But they have to bring him back. He's a free agent this year, or this offseason. So, but I like the DC hire because the defensive coordinator hire, he specializes in defensive line. Like that's his specialty. He's a defensive line coach. That's his thing. So if they add Josh Allen back and Travon Walker's still there, that might be a scary unit next year. But he did a lot of good things in Atlanta too by taking them from like a bottom ranked defense to top 10 ranked defense type stuff. But the Colts will be better next year. I'm confident we're going to make some moves. We're going to bring some people back. Anthony Richardson will be back this year. We had like $72 million in cap space, so I expect that money to be used to go get some talent into that organization, or get some more talent into the organization. And then you have a healthy JT next year too. Like he won't be missing the first 4 games like he did this year. And you got to remember, like, I know the Texans will be better next year. They're going to make some moves as well because they got a lot of money. But you got to remember, this division came down to damn near one play in the Colts and Texans game. And we didn't even play. Neither team really played their best game. But the division came down to one play, and that was that 4th and 1 play. And that's with our backup quarterback, our 3rd string running back. This division is going to be a dogfight. I'm not saying the Colts are the favorite. I'm not saying the Jaguars are the favorite. I'm just saying like it's more equal than people realize, in my opinion.
I'm rolling with that answer as well. I do not think that it's going to be a cakewalk for any team. I mean, obviously, at some point, we're going to have to. I'm trying to. Oh, Jesus. At some point, we're going to have to pick a winner for the division. But it's going to be what I thought that it was last year. Same thing for me. I feel like, it's going to be a fight. I asked y'all about the Titans. After hearing what y'all saying and everything they got going on, they probably won't be too much in the mix. But that is certainly going to be a 3-team race in that division. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to be relatively like that all year. I think we're going to see some of the best football come from those division games when y'all go and see each other, because it's a division that's just such up for grabs, man. So I'm rolling with that. I don't think they're the favorites. I disagree. I think that Vegas will probably have them opened as favorites simply because of what we saw from CJ and D'Amico and them and that defense, and just the lack of info as far as what Anthony Richardson can do for the Colts for an entire season. And then just the bad juju that happened with the Jaguars this season. I think that Vegas is going to have them favorite as the division champs. But it's going to be good, man. That's going to be a division to definitely keep your eye on, because they're just going to be tough teams to beat in general. You got the Texans with some confidence and momentum under their belt. They just coming from out of the playoffs. They feeling good. And then you got, us seeing what Anthony Richardson was doing before the injury. Now that he's coming back, they're going to be walking with a different confidence. And ultimately, even though y'all saying the demand is overrated, the Jaguars do still have Trevor Lawrence, who we've seen be good, better than average. What you say?
Game manager.
Oh, my life. That's a great segue.
He's a generational game manager.
A generational game manager is crazy.
A generational. That's kind of crazy. A GGM is insane. I'm not gonna lie.
A generational game manager. They said he was generational come out of college. They just didn't say which way he was. Was it a game manager or generational for real?
I need to see another year from Trevor.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Trevor.
I know, but I'm not going based off of y'all. Y'all always want to be like, 3 years. I'm not doing that. We're seeing Baker Mayfield play some of his best ball in year 6.
Oh, so you saying Trevor need to go to another team?
You're not. So you saying Trevor Lawrence going to be between 5 teams before he get it right?
No,
that's what you saying.
You gotta be kidding me. That is not what I'm saying.
My boys can't get right.
I'm saying y'all gotta give these guys. Y'all go in that microwave society. Always want to see it quick, fast, and in a hurry. These quarterbacks.
3 years is not a microwave society.
It is, because these quarterbacks are playing for 18 to 20 years. They're not running backs, where their lifespan is 6 to 7 seasons.
But guess what? AB,
their life expectancy in the league is 18 to 20 seasons.
Who's the most expensive?
All these quarterbacks is not playing 18 to 20 seasons. All these quarterbacks are not playing 18 to 20 seasons.
At this point,
I got a question for you. For you though.
Aaron Rodgers did, but the boy did. My boy.
That's Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady.
That's Brady. Look how many people you named.
Okay,
New. I need you to get on that.
How many years did Drew Brees play?
Get on that, New.
How many years did Ben
Roethlisberger play? He played like.
Don't play these.
You're naming the Hall of Fame
but
quarterbacks.
I got a question for you, AB.
Okay.
Who's the most expensive position?
The quarterback.
Okay. When do you usually have to pay your quarterback?
In year 4.
Or
depending on who they are, you should probably lock them in year 3.
Okay.
But
from what we have seen,
they got to do something this year.
From what we have seen from Trevor Lawrence, would you lock him into whatever Patrick Mahomes got, or Justin Herbert, or Joe Burrow, or Lamar for that instance?
But you're talking the money talk. I would lock him in, maybe not for that kind of money.
That's what they're gonna be looking at. It ain't gonna.
That's what they're going to do. That's what.
What have you? Hold on, but what have you done these last 3-4 years? Okay, cool. This is what your stuff look like. Hey, we can't give you what they gave them.
If he goes out and has a decent year this year, they can pay him.
I mean, they can.
There's no way the organization is going to do anything because of how he folded last year. So there's nothing coming this offseason.
The thing is okay.
for him. There's nothing
They
coming this
took
offseason.
maybe not this all season. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
there'll be some rumblings. I'm telling you, there'll
I
be
agree,
some rumblings.
probably.
But and also, I mean, they got the 5th year option they can pick up. But what I'm saying though is that usually when they're looking at these things, either you're gonna, because most quarterbacks aren't making it to that 5th year option. If you really doing what you're supposed to do, you ain't making it to that 5th year option. They're gonna lock you in.
Unless you're Lamar Jackson.
Unless you're Lamar Jackson. But the thing is that I don't know, man. Like year 1, I get it. Urban Meyer, cool. Year 2, you had the little hot streak towards the end. Year 3, you went cold towards the end. Like where's the consistency? This is the thing I say about him. He is inconsistent.
I just don't understand.
Trevor is good.
There's not a big enough sample. You're really you just excused year 1. So you're only looking at a 2-year sample size.
No, but
I don't understand how that's enough to say it's not consistent. Don't get me wrong.
I do think Trevor is good, but the thing that keeps him from being elite or being above where you're above game manager is the consistency. He's not consistent. And that's the thing with these athletes. What keeps you from being a superstar or a star in a league is consistency. You can go out there and be bomb for a game, and in the next 5 games you look like ass.
So what's Lamar Jackson's excuse?
Got to keep in mind that the second. What you mean? What's his excuse?
We've said that
Lamar Jackson won an MVP his second year in the league.
He's been inconsistent throughout 6 years. Don't play me.
No,
that
has been what we have
talked about. And that
no. Lamar Jackson has not been inconsistent. If you look at the Ravens team, the year he got hurt, they were 8-3, and then they didn't make the playoffs. The year after that, he got hurt. They got in and they lost. Lamar Jackson won an MVP his second year in the league.
Every year they've been like the number 1 seed until he got hurt.
What I'm saying is
that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is that we're not going to act like there hasn't been talks and narratives of him being inconsistent. There has.
It was his health. It was never how he played.
I'm not pulling this out. Maybe I'm thinking about this. I don't know, the success versus how he played, because even the play, we were saying that he was inconsistent with certain throws, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, with certain throws here and there.
All of that. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is consistency is consistency. And I'm not putting him on Lamar Jackson's level. My biggest thing is if we're talking about extending Trevor Lawrence, and this conversation is going longer than it should, damn it.
Yeah.
If we're talking about extending Trevor Lawrence, maybe this offseason, y'all can tell me, because I'm a casual when it comes to CFB, but outside of this quarterback season, who else coming out in this new season that's coming up that would be something that the Jags would even take a look at and not re-sign Trevor Lawrence? Like, kind of like what other option?
Are you talking about next year or this offseason?
So if they decide to look at him in his 4th year's offseason before that 5th.
Oh, before now they'll pick up the 5th year option, and then they'll go into that.
They're gonna pick up his 5th year option. They're not going to just let him walk like that.
And I don't think they'll be picking in any spot to actually draft a top quarterback.
To draft a quarterback. I
don't think so either. I think they intend to very much compete. You know, so I just think that maybe it's year 4. Maybe it's not year 3. Maybe year 4 he'll show something. Like,
well, we'll see next year.
Y'all too tough.
I'm gonna just say this: his second year in the league, they won a playoff game, but we ain't gonna act like he didn't throw 4 interceptions in that game. You're not gonna act like he didn't do that, even though they won that game. And then you come out the 3rd year.
I'm talking about.
Because
even in that game, he threw the 4 interceptions, and they were terrible interceptions. And then he came back and balled out in the second half. So I mean, that's the inconsistency I'm talking about. Like, if you're going to be named generational, what I saw in the second half, you got to do that more often than not.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
Yes, Trevor Lawrence is the GGM of the year.
Yeah, I still feel like that y'all are rushing things with this 3-year thing. Speaking of GGMs, the 49ers, they defeat the Packers 24-21. What a game. That was a hell of a game. My fiance was stressed out, y'all. That was a hell of a game. Came down to basically the last drive, in which Jordan Love's experience reared its ugly head as well. throwing. Just very, very like his ancestors in Brett Favre, his Green Bay Packer ancestor in Brett Favre, just throwing over the middle. I don't give a damn. Somebody's there. Somebody gonna catch it, and somebody did catch it. Who caught it? Was it Fred Warner? Was it who caught that? Who caught that interception?
Dre Greenlaw.
Oh, it was Dre Greenlaw. Yeah. So, but Jordan Love, hell of a season. But the 49ers, y'all really did squeak out. Squeak that game out, man. Hell of a game-winning drive. Brock Purdy. And speaking of that game-winning drive, do y'all still think that he should be looked at as a game manager because of that game-winning drive, or do we need to put a little bit more respect on Brock Purdy's name? I'm coming to you first, Shooter. I'm gonna let you go.
Here's my thing, man, and it kills me with Brock Purdy. People do stuff like certain things like, well, he makes certain throw because I seen the timeline. He threw a bad pass to Brandon Ayuk, and Brandon Ayuk had to catch it at his ankles. I see people saying, see, that's why Brock. We saying that Brock got the weapons. It's the weapons that make him look good. But then at the same token,
put a name on it, boo. Because nobody said.
Nobody. It was a lot of. It wasn't just you. It wasn't just you. It wasn't just you. It was others that were saying the same.
I said it for sure.
But at the same token, when he threw that dime to George Kittle for a touchdown, nobody said nothing. Nobody ain't say it was the weapons then. Nobody said, dang, Brock, that was a hell of a throw.
People said that was a great throw.
But what I'm saying is, when they do that with Brock, why y'all don't do that with other quarterbacks? Because there's some greatest quarterbacks of all time that had hella weapons around them their whole career, and don't nobody say nothing about it. Don't nobody say that for Peyton Manning. Don't nobody say that for Kurt Warner.
People say that all the time.
Don't nobody say that for John Elway. I'm just saying, but Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning said himself, he threw the most wobbliest touchdowns you've ever seen in your life. And he's one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. Not saying that Peyton Manning isn't who he is, but I'm just saying that you got to give Brock some credit. He's only his second year in the league. Now, as I'm not saying, a game manager is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Brock understands that he's not going to be a Lamar Jackson. We understand that. He's not going to be a Lamar Jackson. He's not going to be a Josh Allen. He's not going to be Mahomes and none of them. You can be you and still win Super Bowls. You don't got to be, you know what I mean, in that same tier of them to still win. Game manager is not a bad thing at all. For what we need Brock to do is don't turn the ball over, make the plays you need to make. Now, clearly, he got to be over. I will say this. Kyle didn't trust Jimmy. Kyle trusts Brock Purdy. He trusts Brock Purdy far more to do his own thing than he did with Jimmy Garoppolo. But do I think you need to put a little bit more respect on Brock's name? Yes. Ain't nobody giving him no slack. That it's his second year in the league. Nobody cutting him no slack. But you know why they not? Because the team he plays for, the talent he got around him, and what we trying to do. So they put Brock they hold Brock to Richard Sherman said it earlier. They hold Brock to a elite Hall of Fame quarterback standard, but also forget that this is only his second year in the league, and they just want him to be like everybody else.
Is that?
I just think I'm cool with him being the game manager.
Is that also the fault of y'all wanting it so bad? You know what I'm saying? Like essentially being this team that has the defense, has the pieces, and never has the had never had the quarterback to y'all standards. And now you got a quarterback that to y'all standards. And now there's this, you know what I'm saying, not immense amount of pressure, but that's a hell of a lot of pressure on a second year guy. And a lot of that is coming from the fan base. I don't even think it's necessarily coming from the organization. I think a lot of it is coming from the fan base. And so can you, I think that you could place a lot of that blame on just y'all's super duper ambitions of we've been to enough NFC championships. We're over that. We're ready to get to a Super Bowl. Like I think y'all's fan base plays into that narrative. It ain't just folks feeling like that. Y'all fan base plays into that narrative.
The organization play a part too. Kyle told Brock Purdy before the year started he was going to go after Tom Brady. This organization want to win too. They know what's up. They know this window is closing. People are getting older. So we got to win one. And I hate that. I said this before the season started. It's a shame that Brock had to come into this, but this is what you signed up for, bro. This is what you signed up for. I hate to say it, but he got to win. If he don't, they're going to be like, oh.
Is he a GGM, Lou?
A generational game manager.
A GGM is crazy.
Or do we need to put some respect on Brock's name?
Nah, I mean, I do think Brock is a game manager, but I do think at the same time, Brock has made he made some phenomenal throws. Even though, like I said, I think in Sports After Dark the other day, like for a lot of the game, he played like Jimmy. Like there was a lot of plays where he tried to give the ball. I'm not gonna say tried. He could have given the ball. It could have got out of hand real quick for Brock, kind of like it did with the Ravens game, where it got out of hand real quick, and had Green Bay Packers DBs actually just caught the ball, then we looking at a whole different scenario going into the NFC Championship game. Um, but the defense was able to hold their own, and then Brock he kind of settled the ship. He settled down a little bit better, and he started making the necessary throws he needed to. I think there was one to Jennings over the middle where he layered the ball over the linebacker, and yeah, Jennings had to jump up for it or whatever. Cool, but he layered the ball right over the linebacker's hands, and it was a phenomenal throw. Like he made some really good throws. So I think he's a game manager. But again, it's nothing wrong with that. Like I think you go out there, you do what you're supposed to do as far as like the quarterback position. Don't turn over the ball, get it into your playmakers' hands, and let them do the work. Because we got to remember at the end of the day, those receivers get paid just like the quarterback get paid. Those running backs get paid. Everybody on that team gets paid to do a job. The quarterback can't just go out there and do it by himself. And we shouldn't fault teams for putting talent around their young quarterbacks. Hell, I want them to go get Anthony Richardson all the talent he needs to be successful, because at the end of the day, it helps their development. So as of right now, he's a game manager, but I don't mean that'll be what he's going to be the rest of his career.
All right. I mean,
and same goes with Trevor Lawrence. Sorry ass.
Let me ask y'all a question. I don't recall. I know my memory is trash. He is disgusting. Because y'all know my memory is trash. What did Cam say that somebody like Lamar was if he wasn't a game manager? Game changer?
Game changer, yeah.
Game changer.
I just don't know. I just don't know how this is the biggest thing I have with that conversation of game manager in general. I mean, what I'm going to assume that some type of consistency plays into how you would define a game changer. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and obviously, you know, when I was thinking about this conversation, I was thinking about my quarterback because he threw Dak in there. I've seen plenty of times where Dak has done things to change the game. You know what I'm saying? But what does that look like? Does that have to be every 2 games? Does that have to be 3 or 4 times a season? Does that have to be one hell of a game, maybe in the playoffs, for him to make a game-changing play? You know what I'm saying? For him to be considered a game changer? Like that's my biggest flaw with that Cam comparison with game changer and game manager, because I have seen times when Lamar Jackson, this is a bad example. He's a bad example. Not this year. This year, he's a bad example. But
there's been times where Lamar's been a game manager.
I have seen him be a game manager. Yeah. I don't think that this season, you know what I'm saying? But because the defense is so like that. But I'm saying I have seen in previous years.
No, but you're right though. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I never understood that argument. I'm like, what is that like? What does that look like? Does my quarterback have to change the game one time every game for 17 games for him to be considered a game changer, or simply because he know how to look and do what he got to do? That's just him being a game manager. I mean,
But no, that's what Cam said too. Cam was saying like, just because he was like, even if you're a game manager, you got to know there's times where you got to be a game, or if you're a game changer, there's times where you got to know you got to be a game manager. Like he said, there was times in his career where he just if everybody else was cooking, all right, cool. I just got to make sure I don't turn over the ball. I got to just manage this game. But when you got to put the team on your back and you got to get stuff done, that's a whole different story. Not every quarterback can do that.
That's a fact, Lou. Napoleon, you saying anything right now? He's saying anything. Like what?
My bad, y'all.
Brock Purdy's equivalent.
Read what he said.
Brock Purdy. He said that. Well, let me go because this is anything. He said they are not holding him to a standard because Debo and CMC run that offense. He's equivalent to the Ravens quarterback in 2000. Did you watch Trent Dilfer when he was on the Ravens in 2000? Did you watch him?
That's not
because you clearly you didn't. You just saying anything.
Come on.
That's not the same at all, bro. Like I ain't even. Hey, come on, Nap. You gotta do better, bro. You gotta do better. Like You ain't even there's no way you watch Brock Purdy's first few playoff games and saw Trent Dilfer in there. No way. Trent Dilfer ain't even throw for 300. He never threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a playoff game. He's never done that.
That's kind of crazy.
So I don't even know how you even put them two in the same
I
bracket.
saw that comment, but I was just gonna let it ride because I knew it was gonna like irritate you. And I was gonna put it up on the screen, but I'm like, nah,
That's anything.
Not was kind of crazy for that. Let me ask y'all again. That game, I think I was one of the individuals who talked about that game. I thought that the Niners was going to walk the Packers, man. I thought that they were going to make it relatively easy. And shout out again to Green Bay, the Packers, Jordan Love, for going into Santa Clara and not being scared. You know what I'm saying? And actually giving them, you know what I'm saying, a fight. That was a good game. Came down 24-21. Are the 49ers flawed? Though, because and this is shout out to Tristan. This is a good question because oh man, Ambry Thomas he wanted to just give the game away with y'all, man. Like I'm talking about, he literally was trying to just be like, Green Bay, just go ahead, hit the NFC champ, we good. My homeboy's gonna jump me on the way home. I'm cool with that too. Like he literally was trying to give the game away at times. Outside of that. If I had to, this is just me kind of picking at the flaws a little bit. Kyle Shanahan, man, like his thought process when it's time in situations to run the ball. Now, shout out to Vinny because they did say in the Sports After Dark that Christian McCaffrey ran the ball 20 times. Maybe they was keeping him on ice a little bit because of his calf issue. I still feel like that there were times where you got to take what the defense is giving you, and perhaps those 20 runs shouldn't have been ran when they were ran. There were times when you just knew, run the ball. Stop letting Brock throw the ball. You gonna let him throw 3 times in a row? That's what we gonna do. You're going to let him throw 3 times. Y'all pick up a first down. Then they run. You know what I'm saying? You throw 2 more times. Run the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's the situational football that we be kind of talking about. When you got the defense on his heels, you know what I'm saying? Or when you try and wear the defense out, run the ball. And I think that there was a lot of times in that game where I found myself like, dog, what is Kai? He hates CMC. He hate him. And he brought him in. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, this man must hate CMC, dog, because the flaw that I have with him, and this is what I did say in Sports After Dark, that is not the first game I have seen Kyle Shanahan do that. That's not the first game where I've seen him try to play and forget that it's Christian McCaffrey back there and not set the tone off by running the ball. There is in no capacity in any world when after you've seen what this man has done after being with y'all for the last season and a half, that you just don't set the tone with McCaffrey from the jump. They can't stop it. I can see if teams were stopping the tone setting. Nobody stops the tone setting when y'all decide to set the tone with Christian McCaffrey. It's pretty much a wrap. So that would be like, I think y'all are flawed. I think y'all are flawed in that capacity where Kyle will, like you often say, coach with an ego. And then that back end of that defense, man, if the front don't get that pressure, the back end of y'all defense is very, very suspect. And I'm again, we'll get into this on the next show this week. But y'all, that back end got his hands full with those weapons in Detroit. That's why I say it's gonna be such a good game. So I think y'all are flawed to an extent. I think y'all have the coaching and the personnel to obviously outplay those flaws, but y'all are certainly flawed. Y'all certainly flawed. Go ahead, Lou, talk to me. Are the Niners flawed?
Yeah, I mean, I think they are, but I think some of their issues are the same as the Lions. Yeah, I agree with you on running the ball, but my biggest issue is their back end, their secondary. And I think that's their flaw, and I also think that's the Lions' flaw. And that's what makes it such. That's what makes it such a.
It's a double flaw.
That's what makes this such an intriguing matchup because it's to me, it's like who's going to get that turnover. That turnover is what's going to change that game, and whoever forces that turnover, I think wins that game. But yeah, I do think they're flawed. Like you said, the running game, and yeah, CMC ran the ball 20 times you said last game. But I think I don't remember if that came towards, like, a lot of it came towards the end of the game. But again, I think they try to preserve CMC because he was battling something with his quad or his hamstring or something. Because you could see him on the sideline with the massage gun. You saw the trainer massaging his leg, trying to keep his leg warm on the sideline and everything. So he was going through something with that. But but I also think they knew they had to score points because Green Bay was going to score points. And so we might see the same thing going into this game. But like I said, my biggest concern is the secondary. That's where I think they're flawed. And if they're not, and they're also not getting pressure like they used to. I don't know what it is, but they're not. Well, actually, I do know what it is, but they're not getting pressure like they used to get pressure that we're accustomed to seeing from the previous years from the 49ers. And I think that's where you're starting to see some of the flaws in the back end right now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shooter.
I'll say this. I mean, I would say, yeah, every team has a flaw. Ours is speaking a little louder. I believe coaching plays a part in that. I agree with you, Fiambe. Even if CMC did get 20 carries, we got another running back that we didn't even use, Elijah Mitchell, and we were using him down the stretch at the end of the year. And I'm like, why didn't he even get a carry in this game? Even if you're trying to preserve CMC, you got another running back that's been in this offense for 3 years and did pretty good in this offense. If you're going to let CMC take some plays off, bring Elijah Mitchell in the game. He's the more bruiser back anyway. Let him run the ball. I'm with you. It didn't make sense to me to let Brock throw the ball almost 40 times in the rain. That didn't make sense to me. Ambry Thomas, it was to the point I'm like, bro, Steve Wilkes, if you put him back in the game, dog, it's going to be me and you. It's going to be me and you if you put Ambry Thomas back in this game. Because I seen flashes of the Ambry Thomas that was on the bench the year before because he was making silly mistakes, dog. Like we gave up a touchdown because you gave up a 41-yard pass interference, bro. Not paying attention to what's going on. We can't afford that. We can't afford that. And honestly, in this game, if he do it in this game, Wilkes needs to sit him down immediately. It ain't no we're gonna let you rock. Nah, bro. You gotta sit down. Like we can't have that. We do have flaw. Our missed tackling is still an issue. We missed a lot of tackles in that Green Bay game. A lot of tackles. I'm with you, Lou. The pressure needs to get home. Well, Nick Bosa had 7 pressures in the game. It's the other dude, Chase Young. He gotta come alive. He only had 3 pressures. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, y'all was sick.
There's
y'all
no way
receivers
should be blocking.
Y'all was sick.
Yeah, when I seen that.
Boo, you could have blocked Chase Young out there. You and Lou could have blocked him. It was unacceptable watching receivers just block him and he just not getting off. I'm like, bro, what? You know what? That's sometimes I feel like I couldn't be a coach because they wouldn't like me. They wouldn't like me at all. I'd be like, bro, no way in the world. I
think it's so funny because I used to think when I was younger, I'm like, maybe they need me to be on the sideline. Maybe Dallas need me on the sideline to motivate. But I'm cursing you out. I'm questioning your manhood. I'm doing all of that, and that's probably why I'm going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Would your wife want you to? Did you do that at home? Boy, I would be. Listen. This is why because these are grown ass men. You trying to talk to like this? I used to think that. So I'm like, maybe they need. Nah, there's a reason why you ain't a coach. There's a reason.
Yeah, listen, I always say coaching takes patience. They ask me, they like, "Hey, Lou, you should be a coach." I'm like, "Nah, I ain't got the patience for that, my dog." Like, nope, yeah. I don't. I do not. I don't care if it's kids or adults. I ain't got the patience for it, bro. It ain't gonna happen for me,
bro. I'm like, Chase, you letting a receiver block you, bro. Like, what is we doing?
Yeah,
throw him off you, bro.
Watson,
shed the block and make a play.
Watson block him. I was like, that's disgusting.
Yeah. On the
I'm
flip
like,
side,
this boy can't be serious.
On the flip side, Jordan Love, man, like we said, pretty impressive throughout this season. Definitely impressive against that weak Dallas Cowboys defense. Frauds. Yeah, in the background, frauds. Looked good. Are we convinced that Jordan Love is Green Bay's quarterback for the future? I'll say this. I don't know. I liked what I saw, but again, I'm going to hold him to the same standard we hold everybody else, and something that they're not doing with CJ either is you got film on him now. I need to see how he responds in year 2. So maybe I'll make this assessment after year 2, after year 3, if in fact he'll be a Brett Favre, if he'll be a Aaron Rodgers as far as longevity and bringing championships and, you know what I'm saying, creating a winning culture. That is still up in the air for me with Jordan Love. I'm not convinced just yet that he's a quarterback like, he struck gold again with another quarterback and they're going to pay him. I'm seeing that it's reports saying that they're going to pay him as such.
They have to.
But they have to. But I don't know yet. The jury is still out for me.
So for me, I do think they got another quarterback, and I know is 1 year. But when you look at the totality of the season, and you look at how it started out rough for him. And as teams started getting more and more film on him, he started getting better. It was the same for CJ. It's one of those things. As the game slowed down, like as the game started slowing down for these guys, you saw them come into their own. Yes, they still had some flaws, but like I think ABU was saying it a couple weeks ago when they played before they played y'all, how like from what you were hearing, what you were saying, you get pressure on them, you make them roll out and throw. You know, it's going to be a bad day for him. But we started seeing him doing that in those games, and it was a good day for him. Like even against the 49ers, rolling out, dropping the ball to his hip like Aaron Rodgers used to do, and boom, throwing lasers on the sideline. So I mean, it's one of those things where they got tape on him. He started getting better because the game started slowing down for him. I think CJ will still be the same as he was this year, even better. And I think the same with Love. I think the game slowed down for them. So I do think. I mean, they just like AB's like Ashley say, Green Bay. They know how to develop quarterbacks. Like I don't know what it is. I mean, I do. It's their quarterback coach, but like they know how to do it over there.
Go ahead.
I'm with you, Fiambe. You got a valid point that there's tape on them, so you got to see more. You know what I mean? Can't just do the 1 year thing. But I do agree with Lou. I'm gonna say that I feel like they do have their franchise quarterback of their quarterback of the future because of the throws he was making in the playoffs. Like I was like, damn. Like even like Lou said against us, like he rolled out of bounds. He hit Romeo Dobbs tight on the sideline. I said, damn, that's a hell of a throw, dog. And we was hovering down his neck, and he still was doming it up out there. I'm like, damn, this kid Jordan Love he's good. Like he's good. You know what I mean? I hate to use the Cowboys game, but that touchdown to Wicks, that was like Aaron Rodgers-esque of a touchdown pass right there. And I just was like, damn, this is his kid, first time 4 years starting. And shout out to Luke. Yeah, I mean, shout out the Cowboys, man. Y'all got Fiambe. She hurt. She don't even like y'all defense right now. This is crazy. She'll be back in August though. That's how I go.
Hey, yeah, Ash, you hear them, Ash? They get on my nerves with that joint, Ash.
hey. She Lou be burnt out. Lou is so
caught in the middle of this. He's so annoying. He be like, come on, man.
Hey, that's family, man. He ain't got no choice, man. He gonna be dealing with it. He ain't got no choice. That's family right there. You know what I'm saying?
He's so annoying.
He be burnt out. But like you know what I mean? Lou was on point with predicting Jordan Love stats for the year. You know what I mean? 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11. Not only did he throw 11 interceptions in his first full year starting, I think Green Bay, they know they got some. I don't know what's in the water in Wisconsin, but that quarterback coach, he know how to scout quarterbacks. And I remember everybody was criticizing them for drafting Jordan Love when they still had Aaron Rodgers at the peak. And mind you, Aaron Rodgers had just won MVP, and they said, no, we're gonna go draft a quarterback. But and everybody was saying, "Oh, you should."
People were up in arms about that because they were doing that instead of getting him some real weapons.
That's what I was there.
Yeah,
right
with him.
But
like, y'all, can he get some weapons before y'all go?
But Matt LaFleur said, "You know what? I know what I'm doing. I know you're not gonna be here too much longer, so that's why I drafted this quarterback." And now Matt LaFleur looked like he right for making that move because he knew Aaron Rodgers was getting old. He knew they was going to have to move on from him soon. So he's like, we got to get our quarterback now and stash him in the tuck like they did. Favre did the same thing. They knew Favre was on the way out. They went and got Rodgers. Let Rodgers sit behind him for 3 years. Boom. They did the exact same thing with Jordan Love. And now they saying they reaping what they sown. I think Jordan Love is going to be even better as the years come on. Green Bay going to be scary. Like Nacho said, next year, I can see Green Bay winning the division in the NFC North. If they make certain moves to improve that team, they for sure going to be competing to win that division, in my opinion.
Let's move. Speaking of the AFC North, the Lions beat the Bucks, man. We got to run through these. We got to go through these last two games. The Lions beat the Bucks 31-23. 31-23. Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield put on a show. They put on a show out there. Goff 30 for 43 through 287 yards, 2 TDs. Baker Mayfield almost stole the show out there, man. If they were able to get some passes and he didn't throw those 2 interceptions, he could have did a little something. He went 26 for 41, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and those 2 INTs. Baker Mayfield is, I think that we can all agree that they're going to re-sign him. We talked about it in Sports After Dark, that he has played as such, that he deserves to be re-signed. I mentioned earlier that D'Amico is going to be coach of the year, likely, or it definitely should be in the conversation. But considering what we saw from the Lions all season, and then them making their way into the playoffs, and obviously voting has concluded. But is Dan Campbell like a dark horse here? Like for what he had them going, they were silently really good this year, almost to the point where we were kind of like, they frauds. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it just wasn't flashy enough for us, and it wasn't against top teams and all of that. But nonetheless, getting this team into the playoffs, they were, they knew by the end of the year that they were in the playoffs when voting was still available. You know what I'm saying? And that city has not, reached that type of level in decades, man. So should he be considered for coach of the year, Dan Campbell?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Lou. You got it.
Nah, I mean, simple. Absolutely. Like, I think he should. I mean, I don't think he should win it, but I do think he should be considered. Just because, and I mean, I know they're probably going to look at where the team was last year and how they did this year and everything. Or even like the last few years and what they did this year. And I absolutely think he should be considered for coach of the year. They were 9-8 last year. And now they're in the NFC Championship game. I mean, granted, they didn't know that when they was doing the voting, but they made the playoffs this year. They won the division. I mean, you could tell, and you can always tell they were trending in the right direction. Yeah, we had them at pretenders at one point and everything, just because, like you said, AB, they wasn't doing it against top talent, but they were still winning. They were winning games. But when we saw them lose to the Ravens, and then we saw them have a close game against the Bears, and then lose to the Packers, and you start questioning some things. But the Packers turned out to be a better team than everybody expected. But no, I think he should be in consideration. Like I said, I don't think he should win it, but I think he should definitely get consideration. Top 3 in voting for sure.
I agree. He definitely should be considered. Go ahead, Shooter.
So here's my thing. I know it's a regular season award, but this part of me make me feel like maybe you should wait till the playoffs is over before you give this award out, because you look at D'Amico Ryans, which well deserves the award. You know what I mean? The Texans, his first year as a head coach with a rookie quarterback. They win a playoff game. They win the division. I get that. But this is the first time the Lions has ever been to the NFC Championship game. They've never been this far. Never been this far. That by itself is like, whoa. You went 12-5. You won your first playoff game in over 30 years. And then you are in the NFC Championship game. Barry Sanders never got to see what they look like. Herman Moore never got to see what they look like. Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford, we can go on and on. They never got to see what this looked like. So that's why I feel like, in a sense, you should kind of wait till the playoffs is done before you get these awards out, because then it's looking like, I mean, if you give it to D'Amico Ryans, nobody will argue it. But if you look at Dan Campbell, it's like, damn, I don't know.
They went in 91. I think
they got to the NFC Championship game in 91.
They played the Commanders. They got there. They played Washington.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they ain't been to the NFC Championship game since 91.
Washington won the Super Bowl.
Oh, won the Super Bowl that year. Okay. Appreciate that. Okay, so it's been
the year they beat the Bills.
Oh God!
Bills in the Super Bowl.
That's just so sad. How sad is that? That's just. Damn, the Bills.
That is still disgusting that the Bills lost all their Super Bowls to NFC East teams.
Sad. That's so sad. That's so sad. I agree with you, Shooter. Definitely something that they should do and wait till the end of the season, because you see how valuable a player is in those tough situations throughout the playoffs. So I think it's the same thing for MVP. I think that you see how great your coaching is and see if that good coaching from the regular season can roll over into high pressure situations like the playoffs. I definitely think that these awards should wait till the end of the season too. But you know what I'm saying? That ain't something that they're gonna change. Has Jared Goff proven himself? You just talk, Shooter. They ain't been there since 91. All those greats that you just mentioned did not make it to NFC Championship. They struggled to get in the playoffs. This Lions organization, Jared Goff getting, a previous first round pick, definitely started off slow. There was a lot of people that just didn't have much confidence in Jared Goff. Make it quick, y'all. Has Jared Goff proven himself? Dang, y'all don't want to answer that.
What are we talking about? He proved.
But
we trying to figure out prove what though.
Has he proven himself as
to be a franchise quarterback?
He should have been the first round pick.
He was the first overall pick.
That's what I'm saying.
He should not have been that.
Yeah, he was the first overall pick. Yeah.
Has he proven that he should have? That he was the? Oh, okay. He has not proven himself in that light.
No, not to be the number one overall pick. Hell no. And I'm not saying he's not good, but it's another guy that you game manager. Like, you do what you got to do to help your team win the game. He has elite talent around him, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. We see Jahmyr Gibbs. We see what he is. He does have a familiar weapon in Reynolds, because Reynolds was his receiver with the Rams. So I mean, that's good to get him, familiar piece or whatever. But no, I mean, I think he's still a game manager. Jared Goff has never been bad. It was just always he was a guy that would never play above the system. He plays within the system, which isn't a bad or a good thing, but like he plays within the system. I think the whole thing with Sean McVay was, I don't want to have to tell you where to go with the ball. And I think I think Jared Goff has figured that out. Yeah. As far as being an NFL quarterback, he's figured that out.
Maybe he needed to be under a different coach.
He could have. It could have been, but I think I think he has progressed in his career, though. I will say that, but I don't think he's still worthy of being that number one pick that he was. I think he should still first round, but not the number one pick.
We got 6 minutes till wrap time, so we got to move to the next topic. Hev, I'm gonna start with you. The Chiefs beat the Bills, man. That was the game of the weekend. We were looking for that to be the game of the weekend. It did not fail or disappoint. None of the Chiefs Bills matchups disappoint. And the Bills fall again to the Chiefs. 27-24. Wide right are the haunted words that the Bills organization just hate to see it. Their Bass, somebody took out the B and made it just ass on the back of his.
No, the little thing on the seat was blocking the B.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't somebody blocking it out.
No, it was the little thing on the seat that was blocking on the bench that was blocking this.
It's a lot of people that feel like the Bills' windows have closed. So I know we kind of expressed our talks about that last night in Sports After Dark. Does Stephon Diggs return next season? Shooter, is he going back? Is he going back to the Bills?
See, I personally feel like no. I don't think he does. I think when you are second and 9 and when it's second and 9 and you got a chance to pick up an easy first down throwing your best receiver the ball, and Josh Allen said, "No, I don't see you. I'm going to go deep down the field." I think Stephon Diggs is over it. I think Diggs wants to go play with his brother. I've been saying it. I don't know if I think y'all remember, but I've been saying it like the last 2 years. I think he wants to go to Dallas and play with his brother. He wants to play with his brother. Now, will it happen? I heard that the Bills are in a tight spot because of his contract. If they trade him, they'll put him in like serious cap hell or something like that. So I think that's the only reason why it wouldn't happen. But I think he's ready to move on from Josh Allen. I mean, what else is there to see there? He's been there for what, 4 years?
Do y'all remember that scene?
They reached the AFC title game one time.
Y'all remember that scene from Friday After Next? Where Craig told Day-Day, "Don't let that man pump you up and get your ass shot out here, Day-Day. We Day-Day and Craig." Stephon Diggs, do not let Cowboys Nation pump you up and get your ass shot out here. You are not. Listen, don't let that fool you. You don't come to Dallas, bro. You're not gonna win anything. You're coming for nothing. I'm so mad at them. Y'all know I would be vouching for some daggone Stephon Diggs. Don't come. Don't set yourself up for failure. Stop gassing that man up. Don't come play with his brother. Don't gas that man up like that, man. Go try to win a championship somewhere, brother, because the damn sure ain't gonna be with the Cowboys next season. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying,
if they get rid of Stephon, they'd have a dead cap of $31 million. And that's if he traded or released. Yeah, traded or released before June 1st. If they do it after June 1st, I mean, it's still $31 million dead cap, but they can spread it across 2 years, right?
Listen, I mean, it's still the same.
They just can spread it across 3 or 2 years. They can just spread it across. I
thought Lou was about to give me a different number.
Nah, man, it's the same. It's the same thing. $31 million either way. Either way you slice it, it's $31 million. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I think he returns. But it's not Josh Allen's fault, man. Like, and I'm not praising Josh Allen or anything, but I'm saying, like, also when your quarterback gives you a layup, you got to come down with it.
Yeah.
Like you're the best receiver on the team. Like you're supposed to be
a wide receiver one for a reason.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the consistent guy.
Yeah.
And when your quarterback give you, and that's why I think Josh threw him into that hit the next time.
Oh, because there was one. I'm like,
you don't want to catch this?
Yeah, you gonna drop this money? All right, got you.
I got something for you, big dog. Let's see if you catch this one.
There's a quarterback that they're comparing Josh Allen to. Phillip Rivers. This has been the narrative all day, all night from last night on social media, that instead of it being Brady and Manning that they think that they think Josh and Mahomes is, they think that it's really Brady and Phillip Rivers. You talked about the cannon, Lou. Is Josh Allen the new Phillip Rivers? First of all, not too much on Big Phillip. We say that like that's a bad thing. We're saying it like Phillip Rivers is a bad thing. Phillip Rivers bald. He bald.
I think it's because Phillip is for his career. Phillip
talk about it,
playoffs. He's 0-3 against Brady, and I think that's where they're going at with that because now Josh is 0-3 versus Mahomes. To me,
for sure.
Listen, man, I think people take the record into consideration way too much because, like I said last night, Peyton started off 0-2 against Brady. And I know it's Josh 0-3, but their careers aren't done. So, like, all of that can change. I don't know if it will. I'm just saying it could. But at the same time, too, like, nobody anticipated those Chargers and Patriots games. Like, those weren't anticipated games. When they played in the playoffs, it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
But when Peyton and Brady played, it was must-see TV. This is must-see TV when Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes play. That is must-see TV. No matter what the outcome is, yes, some people want to see Josh Allen win, but at the same time, people tune into that game because it's always a good game, and Josh Allen always performs. Like, he ain't going out there and land no duds. He go out there and perform. It's just the Chiefs got their numbers. So I mean, I don't know what the end of this will all be, but as of right now, I still think it's Brady and Brady and Manning, just because the anticipation of the game when we see it. When it comes to fruition, it's the anticipation that everybody gets when this game comes.
I like that. I ain't mad. Go ahead, Shooter.
I'm gonna say I think he is the new Phillip Rivers. Yes, for reasons of the playoff record. Another thing about Phillip Rivers. He never won an MVP. I don't think Josh Allen probably will win an MVP.
That's going to be
I don't think Phillip Rivers. I don't think he's ever going to do that. Phillip Rivers, I don't think he ever made first team All-Pro either, if I'm correct about that. And I think Josh Allen hasn't made a first team All-Pro either. So he's lining up to have the exact same career as Phillip Rivers.
This is
a person that he's a fantasy quarterback merchant. That's what he is. Josh Allen is a fantasy quarterback merchant, just like Phillip Rivers was.
This is so nasty.
If you want to win a fantasy championship, you draft Phillip Rivers and you draft Josh Allen. That's what they are. fantasy quarterback merchants.
This is absolutely nasty work, man.
That's
Listen,
disgusting.
this is my life. We gotta come back later this week. We're gonna come back later this week. These championship games are on the horizon. We got the Ravens and the Chiefs. We got the people, the Niners and the Lions. I'm gonna assume that the first game is gonna be at 3, second game will be at 6 Eastern time. This was a hell of a show, man. And I knew that we was going to bring it. I appreciate everybody. We appreciate everybody for tapping in. Again, make sure that you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you are following our Instagram page. Make sure you're following our Twitter page. Tapped into the Twitter community. Go and grab some Sports After Dark merch. And if you are going to the games this weekend and you haven't bought your ticket yet and you're going to any basketball games, because basketball is in full effect. I can't wait for us to transition over there since I ain't got nobody. Let me tell you something real quick. You know what it is? You know why I'm so mad at Dallas? You know what this is? Let me tell you what it is. It's Brady. Any other season, I got Tom Brady to depend on. I'm still rooting. I'm still in the conversation. I still got something to depend on. And this is the first year, the divisional round, I didn't have nobody to depend on. And I think that Tom Brady is the reason why I've been in my bag like I've been due to Dallas losing, because now I only got to depend on Dallas. I probably need to find another quarterback or something like root for. But that's another conversation. We out, y'all. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Lou, have y'all got anything before we roll? We are going to run a Sports After Dark space at sometime this week, a point this week as well. But yeah, y'all can expect to see After Hours crew later on.
Shaggy funny.
Is Shaggy in the
Shaggy
comments?
funny.
Yeah.
We CD get him to bring back. Hell no.
Shaggy funny, bro.
That's disgusting work.
You know that's Shaggy, man. You know Shaggy rock with CD Lamb. You know that's his man.
We love CD. What, y'all got anything? I'm gonna let West Track run again. You know what I'm saying, to promote. Make sure y'all go and cop and listen to his music on Spotify. Wes is our guy. Hell of a intro that he put together for us. So if y'all don't have anything else, we're gonna go ahead and let Big Wes take us out. Y'all good?
Yup.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. In the meantime, in between time, see y'all on the timeline. Good night.
To be honest, I'm Giannis inside of game 6. Dropping 50 and dunking over your main. Earnhardt Jr. when I'm deciding the lane switch. Tell them people that I'm on top of the game. Manifested my future by spewing all of my pain. Carry my own umbrella, surviving treacherous rain. Landed on higher learner, matriculate in the bigger earnest. Switch after dark helps you to find your purpose. And find what work is, and find the surface. When deeper in it, I'm heavy with ashes, burning curses. Built up our name so forever we reign, it's us we working. Ain't tripping off your affiliation, we welcome verses. In lieu of playing, we saying our way to sign a merchant. Then press receipts in the meet and greets with our favorite person. Link with DG, he the chief, and can't see we do it right. Switch after dark from the mic to your heart to Hollywood.